Morning guys, this subject crops up quite a bit and I get asked about it quite a bit. So I thought I would make a video of my interpretation of the law. And in front of me here, though you can't see it, I have my laptop and I have the government website open with the UK knife laws. So I know I'm telling you like it is. But they are a bit vague in some ways and quite complicated. I think more complicated than they need to be, like a lot of laws, of course. Now, the first thing I will point out, the very first thing right at the top, is a warning. The maximum penalty for an adult carrying a knife is 4 years in prison and an unlimited fine. You'll get a prison sentence if you're convicted of carrying a knife more than once. So yeah, that's just basically there to put the frighteners on you. So if we page down slightly, the basic law on knives: it is illegal to sell a knife to anyone under 18 unless it has a folding blade 3 inches long or less. Okay, so blade less than 3 inches, that's clear enough. It's illegal to carry a knife in public without good reason. Now that's a bit of wording that's worth remembering. Without good reason. Unless it has a folding blade with a cutting edge 3 inches or less. So, for example, normal sort of little, penknife. Okay, Swiss Army knife sort of size. So you can carry that at any time without having good reason. Just have it in your pocket, or as most people would term it, an EDC, everyday carry. You don't have to justify. Less than 3 inches, not locking, you can just carry it. The only caveat to that would be restricted areas. If you're going into an airport or something like that. Also, it's a bit of a grey area, but things to bear in mind is if you went to a large public event where obviously a knife isn't going to be needed, I'm thinking football matches or something like that, the security may have an issue with it. But generally speaking, less than 3 inches and it doesn't lock, carry it where you like. So, it's illegal to carry, buy or sell any type of banned knife. Okay, so you can't carry it, you can't buy it, and you can't sell it. If you already own it before these laws were introduced, it's not illegal to own it. If you're a collector, shall we say. You just can't take it out. Let's put it like that. But it's also illegal, obviously, to use any knife in a threatening way, even a legal one. So, as inoffensive as this is, if you've got the blade open and you're waving it about in public, you still get done. Which is pretty obvious, really, isn't it? Now we get into the funny bits. Well, I think funny, anyway. Lock knives. Lock knives are not classed as folding knives and are illegal to carry in public, but again, that term, without good reason. So you can, in fact, carry a lock knife if you can prove good reason for having it. Okay. They classify lock knives having blades that can be locked and refolded only by pressing a button. And one thing that is worth bearing in mind, which something I didn't consider, can include multi-tool knives. Okay, so I haven't got mine here, but the Leatherman type, folding, multi-tool. Obviously, it is a tool, a very inoffensive type thing, But if the blade is capable of locking open, your Leatherman is illegal. Unless you have good reason. It comes back to that statement. So you just need to bear that in mind. Where I think this falls down slightly is the fact that, let's have a look. This is one of my EDCs, everyday carry, because it's less than 3 inches and it's not locking, although it does have a huge spring. It feels like a lock knife, but it's still got movement. So perfectly legal. Okay, you can carry that anywhere you like, perfectly legitimately. Yet, this little baby, with his blade, which is what, about 1.5 inches, has actually got a little liner lock in there. Okay, so that's not legal. That is. The same as my traditional peasant's knife from Sardinia. Not locking or anything, but it's too long. Okay. The area that I find the most difficult, and I've searched this and searched this and searched this, French Opinel. Now I would say this is a penknife, okay? This one falls slightly foul of the law because it's a number 8 and the blade is just over 3 inches. But if you had, should we say, a number 6 and I think even a number 7 lengthwise, it just comes within the rules. But if you twist the ring, you can fix it open. Does that qualify as a locking knife? I mean, it is locked, but it's 2 separate actions. It's not one that automatically locks open. You know, without the ring, you could remove the ring if you was unsure and just have it as a folder. And then as long as it was one of the shorter blades, less than 3 inches, it's a penknife. The ring. I've never found anyone that can give me a firm answer on that. 2 separate actions and their definition here, very much so. Lock knives have blades that can be locked and refolded only by pressing a button. No button. So, who knows? Now, there is the whole section on banned knives and weapons, which I won't read through because it's a massive list. You can read through. In fact, this website section I'm reading now, I'll link in the description at the bottom, so you can look it up yourself. But there's a massive list. And, you know, I understand a lot of them. Like butterfly knives. You don't need one, do you? Disguised knives, so they look like something else, like an everyday household object. We've got a blade inside them. Flick knives. You know, a lot of it is quite obvious that, yeah, you shouldn't really be having them. There's no real need to have them. Unless you're a collector, of course. If you've just got them at home in a display case or something, it's fine because they're not going out in public. But yeah, okay, I do get that. But at the top it does say it's illegal to bring into the UK, sell, hire, lend or give anyone the following. But nowhere does it say it's illegal to own them. So, yeah, again, a bit of a grey area. And the bottom section, good reasons. Examples of good reasons to carry a knife or a weapon in public can include taking knives you use to and from work. So if in your normal everyday life, say you work in forestry or something, so you need a fixed blade type knife, as long as you're travelling to and from work, perfectly legitimate. Taking to a gallery or museum to be exhibited, unlikely, but yeah, okay, it's there. If it's to be used for theatre, film, television, historical reenactment, or religious purposes, you can carry it. Yeah, some odd ones there. The one I have a bit of an issue with is the religious purposes. So, as I'm sure most of you are aware, Sikhs have a particular type of dagger, which is part of their ceremonial dress, so they can legitimately have that open carry. Do we start a bushcraft religion and therefore state that our sheath knife is part of our ceremonial dress? It begs the question, doesn't it? There we go. The last one I think is the most interesting. If it'll be used in a demonstration or to teach someone how to use it. So if you're going out with a knife that is technically, you know, non-legal, but you're with someone else and you state that you're carrying it to teach them how to use one correctly, very much a grey area. To be used in demonstration purposes, okay. And I suppose the other thing is if it's to be used for theatre or film, television, etc. If you're a YouTuber and you've got your camera equipment with you, or even just your mobile phone, if that's how you film stuff like myself, can you just say, well, I'm making a demonstration film? Will these things stand up in court? I don't know. But that's basically the law. And I think it comes down to, oh, bloody seagulls, can you hear them? Oh, the joys of the South Coast. I think it comes down to being sensible. Obviously, EDC, do what you like, carry it, just don't wave it about at people. Standard sort of bushcraft size knives aren't excessively large, and as long as they're kept within your backpack when you're travelling to and fro, not in your jacket pocket or on your belt because you're asking for trouble. Keep it in the bottom of your bag when you're travelling. That's much easier to explain. You know, if it's in a bag with a load of camping gear, it's pretty obvious what you're doing. I had this question the other day from a young guy. He was concerned about buying a larger knife, mainly because where he lives there is a certain amount of knife crime and the police are quite proactive, and of course being younger he's more likely to get targeted for stop and search and whatever. So if you need a fixed blade knife, I would say safest bet is something this size. It's easier to explain. Yes, I've got stuff this sort of size, but as the size goes up, it's going to be harder and harder to explain your reasoning for carrying it. And to be fair, this can do most of the jobs this can do. It's just the bigger one does it easier because it's bigger. And strangely, of course, bushcraft wise, you can carry an axe. And no one seems to be bothered about that. So you can carry an axe legitimately, but you can't carry that. I find it all a bit mad, to be honest. I understand why they brought the rules in. I think it was a bit of a knee-jerk reaction to the knife crime. And also, if you look at the police statistics, the majority of knife crime is carried out by youngsters, primarily. It tends to be gang and drug related type of crimes, and 9 times out of 10 they use kitchen knives because they're easily accessible. They just get it out of mum's kitchen drawer. There they're not using something like this. They're using some big bastard kitchen knife. So the law is a bit odd in that respect. But yeah, if you're going to carry a knife outside of the 3-inch, EDC rules, just keep it undercover. Bottom of your bag. If they don't see it, they don't worry about it. As long as it's not easily accessible to you, I don't see there's going to be a problem. And also, it's highly unlikely if you're going camping, if you got stopped by the police, that they're going to want to search your bag. They need good reason to do that. If it did get to the stage where they come up with a reason to search your bag, and it's going to happen, just be upfront and tell them. I have my knife with me. I'm using it for camping purposes, but it is secured in the bottom of my bag for safety. But tell them, don't let them find it. That would be my only advice. Okay guys, thanks for watching.